Hey, what is up YouTube? This is the Mermail Master coming at you from the Team Time Riders YouTube channel with an updated Mermail deck profile. A lot of people have been playing Mermails in light of the brand new card out of Invasion Vengeance. I finally have one right here, a borrow courtesy on loan from our very own Team Time Riders, Tamias the God Monarch, so a special shout out to him for allowing me to have the Totally Awesome for this deck profile. So this deck profile right now is a pure Mermail variant that's running Totally Awesome. It's exactly as you would expect, a Totally Awesome card, and allows Mermails to have sort of a first turn play where there wasn't one before. That's something that we definitely needed in the deck, and having the ability to hand loop, having the ability to make a field with negations, and then finally having the ability to OTK when you're going second are all very, very good kind of plays. So without further ado, let's get into the deck profile, and I'll show you what I'm playing. As I mentioned, this is an updated list from my other Mermail deck profile, so I'll explain any new choices that I have along the way. To start out first, we have 2 copies of Mermail Abyss Megalo. I'm still running this card at 2 because I still think that it's a very easily searchable card with Neptibus, which means that you're not really having to run the card at 3. You see it when you want to and not when you don't. You can easily fetch it out of your deck, so the extra space that you have Megalo in is better used for something else. Next, we're running 3 copies of Mermail Abyss Teus. Great for its 1 discard outlet. The only issue that I have with Abyss Teus, though, is that it's inherently an unsearchable card, which means that you do have to run it at 3, and you do have to count on seeing the card. But, I mean, with Totally Awesome and with the deck's more switched functions to rank 4s, Abyss Teus is not as potent as it once was. Next cards we're running, 1 copy of Abyss Lind for Abyss Gun for special summon and Mermails from the graveyard, discarded by anything, even like a Twin Twist or something like that, it'll special summon. Abyss Lind for plays where you set this or you crash into something and it'll special summon a Mermail from deck and trigger effects. Then we have 1 copy of Mermail Abyss Turge and 1 copy of Mermail Abyss Mander. Now, a lot of Totally Awesome decks are electing to take Abyss Mander out, but I think that that's not really as good a decision. As I mentioned,
Totally Awesome.
I love that Mermail Abyss Mander is able to sort of revise the level of Mermails to allow you to go into any synchros you want. I have a couple of other new cards in the extra deck to showcase to you besides Totally Awesome that will take advantage of Mermail Abyss Mander's ability to change levels. I noticed, like one of the plays that you can do with Mermail Abyss Mander is if you have Diva, a Neptibus, and any level 4, such as a Mermail Abyss Teus, you banish Mander from your graveyard. Teus, Turge goes up to level 6, and then you can do level 6 plus a 2 and 3 from Diva and a Neptibus into a level 9 Trish, which is a super good play. Now, that's it for the Mermails. Moving on for the Atlanteans, it's a classic number. We have the 3 Neptibus, very, very good card. Send 1 Atlantean to the graveyard to search an Atlantean to your hand. Get your Dragoons, get your Princes, get your other plays. 2 Atlantean Heavy Infantry. In this particular variant, you actually use this card more for its special summoning ability, or its extra normal summon for a Sea Serpent type monster. You send Neptibus to the graveyard, get this, and then if you already normal summon a Neptibus for a turn, you can grab a Diva from your deck and go into further plays. And then finally, Marksman, direct attacker, and when it's sent to the graveyard for a water monster's effect, pop any face down card. Atlantean Dragoons, if this went to 3, I would be very, very happy, but it's not at 3 yet, and I hope it comes to 3 in the future. But basically searches through any Sea Serpent, so it doesn't matter what it is, it'll search it out of your deck. Now for something new in the deck, we're now switching up the number of Aqua Spirit in the deck from 1 to 2. Aqua Spirit is great, specifically because there are so many times in the deck that you have the, if you're going for your OTK play, you usually have an Errant Dragoons on the field, one that's not really doing anything. Aqua Spirit can modulate the graveyard for Mulan Glacia plays. It has the ability to help you overlay with an Errant Dragoons on the field. And finally, and not many people use this ability, but it's got an effect that allows you to switch the battle position of an opponent's monster during their standby phase, and they cannot switch that battle position for the rest of their turn. This effect has actually come in quite handy lately for just stymieing opponents' attackers and triggering, effects or negations such as Tree Toad. 1 Deep Sea Diva, self-explanatory. Don't get Max C to effect failure. Just don't do it. 1 Moulin Glacier for ditching cards out of your opponent's hand and for doing the hand loop, getting their stuff out. Combo Moulin Glacier with a Dweller to have a 3200 beater that can ditch cards out of anything's hand, even a Burning Abyss monsters, and the effects won't go off. With the recent, dependence on rank 4s, you're able to do that now more than ever. Next, I switched the number from 2 Gameciels up to 3. For those of you who have been keeping track of my Mermail deck profiles in the past, you know that I've been changing up the Kaiju regimens a lot. With Toadally Awesome coming on the horizon, 3 Gameciel the Sea Turtle Kaiju I think is a fantastic number for the card. And it's mostly because of its usefulness outside of the fact that it's a Kaiju. You can special summon 1 to your opponent's side and 1 to your side. You can synchro with it, you can overlay with it, you do whatever you want with this card. But very, very good card, and just an extra monster on the field. Now for hand traps, 2 Max C and 1 Effect Failure rounds out our hand traps. Effect Failur's targeting is not really as good lately, but I still think that it has some merit for going up against rogue decks. Granted though, if I'm going up against something like Pendulum or something like that, and they'll go first, what I'll do is I'll take out this and something else to put in Forbidden Chalices. Moving on to the spells. 3 Instant Fusion, pretty self-explanatory. Grab Norden. I gotta find room for Rare Fish, which has finally been printed in the TCG. I'm very, very excited about that card. Those of you who know me know that I have been waiting for it for years, and I'm very, very excited to welcome this card to the TCG. 2 copies of Twin Twisters. Pretty self-explanatory. Very, very good card. Pop things and will also be able to trigger Gun. 2 more of Greed, because I hate Desires. Milling your Atlanteans and your Divas and not drawing into anything and then just losing from there on out is bad. Basically, Desires making a poor hand worse, but a good hand marginally better by getting all the stuff. If you can't get all your stuff out before you activate Pot of Desires, like all the stuff that you need to get out of your deck and into your hand or graveyard before you activate Pot of Desires, it sucks. But this card takes bad waters in your hand, shuffles them back in, and hopefully gives you something good. I can't count the number of times I've shuffled back 2 Errant Atlanteans and then drawn into a Neptibus or Diva or some other cards that I could easily use. So I think 2 is the perfect number for Moray. 1 Salvage. I'm still running this card because I really like it. Fetches back Atlanteans and other 1500 or lower waters from the grave. Abyss Scale of the Mizuchi, negating spell effects. Still has that crappy Pendulum ruling, which sucks. 1 for 1, self-explanatory. Grab this Neptibus out of the deck, or sometimes even Effect Failure to go into a synchro play. And the final card for the spells is 1 Raigeki. Finally, for traps, we have Abyss Sphere. A lot of players are thinking about switching this up to Vanity's Emptiness, and some have actually followed through on that. I'd like to do a little bit of testing with Vanity's Emptiness to determine whether or not that's an actually viable play, but I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of results that yields. So that's it for the main deck. It's 40 cards exactly. Moving on to the extra deck. As I mentioned, it's 1 Toadally Awesome. This card has single-handedly revolutionized the way that Mermails are played, and a lot of players are starting to run frogs and other things in order to capitalize on the abilities of this card. I'm looking to probably run 2 in this extra deck, and hopefully soon you're going to be seeing a Frog Mermail deck profile up on this channel. I'm really looking forward to the opportunity to profile that, and I really hope to be able to bring that deck profile to you soon. Of course, we got that 1 Bahamut Shark to go along with Toadally Awesome.
Bahamut Shark.
Yes, Bahamut Shark. Fetch is Toadally Awesome from your deck. Since I don't run the frogs in the deck, fetching Toadally Awesome with Bahamut Shark is the only way I can get it, unfortunately. But it's got that easily recyclable ability, and if you can protect Bahamut Shark for a turn and recycle Toadally Awesome, you can re-summon Toadally Awesome to your side of the field. 101 Silent Honor Arc, basically for just triggering Dragoons and stealing opponents' monsters. Abyss Dweller, the best XYZ in this extra deck, hands down. triggers your Dragoons at any time and will also negate graveyard effects and buff all your water monsters by 500. Now for the level 7s, we got Big Eye, Red Eyes Flare Metal, and Mermail Abyss Guile. So you'll notice for the first time the noticeable absence of Dracosack. As I mentioned, these two are my top. Big Eye is needed when necessary, but Dracosack, while I do go into the card, it just has not been summoned enough to still warrant its use. So that's it for the XYZ monsters for the level 4s. Last thing, of course, is Castel. Castel is another one that I barely go into, and a lot of players have actually been thinking about taking it out. Finally, Elder Entity Norden is my one fusion. I'll do an updated profile when I have more. And now, moving on to my synchros. One Tatsunoko, pretty self-explanatory. I run this with Diva and Neptibus. You can easily go into this, synchro with anything from your hand into a bigger monster. One Armory Arm. First time I put this in the deck, I've been split between like 50-50 or so, or 75-25 between this and Herald of the Arclight, because of Herald's negation effect and being a very good defensive first turn play, but at the same time, Armory Arm's ability to help Megalo OTK over massive boards cannot be understated. One copy of Coral Dragon for just basically extending your plays, triggering Mermail's effects, and continuously plussing. One copy of Trishula, Dragon of the Ice Barrier, banish cards from your opponent's hand, field, and graveyard, and unlike Necros of Trishula, which people are usually known to like, it's a non-targeting effect that chains and activates and resolves at the resolution. So very good card. And brand new that I'm running in the deck is the, in contrast to the secret that people want to pull, the secret that nobody wants to pull, which is Vermilion Dragon Mech. I feel like, even though this was made with Cristrons in mind, that someone somewhere was thinking about Mermails. You can summon this with Diva and an Errant Teus, and I can't tell you how many times that scenario has happened, but you run it with Diva and an Errant Teus, banish a Diva to pop a card on the field, and then if Vermilion Dragon Mech is destroyed by a card effect, you can add that Diva back to your hand for use later. And finally, Leo, Keeper of the Sacred Tree. Make this with like a Gameciel and a Moulin Glacier and a Diva, which I've done countless times. And just can't be targeted. BA has no outs to this, and there are several decks that struggle to get over it. So, very, very good card. And yeah, so that was my Mermail deck. I really hope you guys enjoyed this deck. If you liked it, please remember to give it a like, comment, and subscribe, and keep it stuck to Team Time Riders for more awesome content just like this. This has been the Mermail Master, and I'm signing out. Catch you guys next time. Peace.